We're surrounded by data, but let's be honest, most of the time it's just noise. So today, we're going to learn how to decode it. We're going to take a boring list of numbers and find the story that's hiding inside. Ready? Let's jump in. Okay, so picture this. You've got a list of numbers, maybe from a survey, maybe from sales figures, whatever. It's just sitting there. What is it actually telling you? Right now? Probably not much, but trust me, there is a story locked away in that data, and we're about to find the key. And here's the best part. You don't need to be a math genius to do this. Seriously, we're going to break down 3 really simple but super powerful ways to turn that raw data into clear, useful information. All right, first up, we're starting with the absolute basics, the foundation of, well, pretty much all data analysis. It's just counting. I know, it sounds almost too simple, right? But stick with me, because this is where it all begins. And that leads us to our first big idea, frequency. It's a fancy-sounding word, but all it really means is how many times did something happen? That's it. How many times does a number or a category or anything pop up in your dataset? That's its frequency. Okay, let's make this real. Here's a set of 20 numbers. Right now, it's just a mess, isn't it? I mean, you could try to eyeball it and guess which number shows up the most, but good luck with that. It's way too easy to miss something. We need a better way. We need a system. And that system is what we call a frequency distribution table. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Look, on one side, we just list all the unique numbers we see in our data. So for us, that's the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on the other side, that's where we're going to put our count. Simple as that. And bam, after we do the counting, look what happens. The story just jumps off the page. We can see instantly that the number 1 is our winner. It's the most common. And poor number 5 is the least common. See? We just turned that random jumble of numbers into actual useful information. So, the big takeaway here? The number 1 showed up 7 times. Its frequency is 7. That makes it, hands down, the most common value we have. That's our very first piece of insight. And all we had to do was count. Okay, but wait a minute. We know 7 is the highest number. But how significant is that really? I mean, is 7 out of 20 a huge deal or just kind of meh? To answer that question, we need to add some context. We need another layer. And that brings us to tool number 2. This one is all about perspective. It helps us see the bigger picture, the so what behind the numbers. We're moving from just counting to really understanding how important each count is. And this amazing tool is called relative frequency. And the math behind it is super simple. It's just basic division. You just take the frequency, that's the count we just did, and you divide it by the total number of things you counted. That one little step transforms a simple count into a powerful percentage. So let's try it with our data. We had 20 numbers total, right? So for the number 1, its frequency was 7. We take 7, divide it by 20, and we get 0.35, or 35%. We just do that for every single row. And now, we don't just know that 1 is the most common, we know it makes up a whopping 35% of our entire data set. And look at this. A chart makes this so clear. You can literally see each number's slice of the pie. That big blue chunk for the number 1, that's our 35%. It's more than a third of the whole thing. That's so much more impactful than just saying the frequency is 7, isn't it? All right, time for our third and final tool. We're going to switch gears a little bit here. So far, we've been looking at things individually. Now, we're going to see how things add up. We're going to look at accumulation by keeping a running total. And to do that, let's use a totally new example, something you might actually see in the real world. Let's say you're running a business and you're tracking customer complaints. You've got 15 complaints about shipping delays, 10 about product quality, 8 about billing, and 12 about returns. This is the perfect job for cumulative frequency. All that means is running total. So watch this. We start with the first category, shipping delays. That's 15. Now we add the next one. 15 plus the 10 for product quality gets us to 25. Then we add the 8 for billing issues, bringing us to 33. And finally, we add the 12 for returns, and we land at our grand total of 45 complaints. See, we're just adding as we go. So what's the point? Well, a simple frequency just shows you the count for each category by itself. But cumulative frequency shows you the total up to that point. It's a snowball rolling down a hill. It only gets bigger. It gives you a sense of how the total is building up. And this chart just makes it pop. The blue bars are the individual counts, right? They jump up and down. But look at the orange bars. They only go in one direction, up. It's like a staircase, climbing step by step. Each step shows you the new, bigger total. This is an awesome way to see how things accumulate in a sequence. Okay, so let's pull this all together. We've just looked at 3 different but related ways to make sense of data. Let's do a quick recap of why you'd want to use each one. Okay, here's the cheat sheet. If you just want to know what's the most common or popular, use frequency. Simple. If you need to know how big a piece of the whole pie something is, that's a job for relative frequency. And if you want to track a running total to see how things are adding up, you'll want to use cumulative frequency. 3 tools for 3 different jobs. So the next time you're staring at a spreadsheet full of numbers, don't just see a boring grid. See a mystery waiting to be solved. You now have the basic tools to start finding the clues. So the real question is, what patterns are hiding in your data? What story is it just waiting for you to tell?